Hey everyone, it's Marla with Nerdy Mom Studios, and I am back today. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. So, we're going to have a spoiler review today, and we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I am so excited to talk about this movie. I have a lot of thoughts. I really, really, really enjoyed this film. I think it made me more excited for Marvel going forward because the last few films have not been the greatest, specifically Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This one definitely makes up for it. It shows that Marvel is definitely aiming for quality now. Then we know they just had a change in leadership. They went back to Bob Iger, and anyways, movie was fantastic. They have 97% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is pretty good. So let's get into it. Okay, so we start off the movie with a clip of Baby Rocket showing him as a raccoon and getting picked and being experimented on. It's actually pretty sad to see, but and it's really quick. So then it moves forward to nowhere where all the Guardians are at. Peter Quill's there, drunk, sulking because he misses Gamora. We know Gamora's there, but not his Gamora. It's past Gamora. We also see meet Cosmo the dog, really really funny, and she has really good interactions with Kraglin. We also see him struggling with controlling his arrow with his whistle. We see Nebula, which everyone is looking at her as the leader, which is pretty cool to see. She's come a long way. We also get a look at her brand new arm, her outfit, which I love Nebula. Then we get Adam Warlock introduced, and we don't get any backstory as to why he's there, but he comes and is looking for Rocket, captures him, and that's when all the Guardians come together. Everyone in the city comes out and is watching everybody fight, which is pretty cool to see everyone get together to protect one of their own. Nebula is the first one to encounter him and is fighting him. And these scenes are always so funny to watch because, again, she's robotic, she's an android, she's half robot. So whenever she gets injured or hurt, it looks pretty gross, but pretty cool. Um, so again, she's fighting Adam Warlock, and then Peter Quill gets a chance at him a little bit. We also get Drax and Groot also get a chance at fighting him, and we really get to see how powerful Adam Warlock really is. All during all of this, Rocket ends up getting hurt, is almost dying, and that's when they try and save him, and they see that he has a kill switch on his heart, which is starting to kill him because again he was experimented on and is basically half robot also. The Guardians basically have Rocket on life support and have set out to go to the factory that made the kill switch on his heart. That's when we get encountered with the Ravagers, and that's when we get to see Sylvester Stallone's character, which looked pretty cool on the big screen. And then Peter Quill ends up finding out that Nebula contacted Gamora, paid her to help them get in to the facility that made the chip, and Peter is struggling with this because again he misses Gamora, but it's not his Gamora. So Nebula is helping them break into the facility. That's when we get these Among Us scenes. I mean, these space scenes. It's pretty cool to see them flying around and trying to break in, and they're undercover, basically pretending to be people that work there. And they split up. Mantis and Drax get together. Groot stayed behind to take care of Rocket, by the way. And they get this little ball that you see here on his hand that has the information on Rocket. They end up getting caught and fighting. Drax gets hurt, and it looks like he's about to die. The Guardians look really scared and worried. Um, so Nebula also got pretty hurt too. Then we cut back to the High Evolutionary, and this is where we see his plan that he's out there trying to create the perfect species. He is also responsible for helping create Adam Warlock. He had the gold people from the second movie create him, which is why Adam calls her his mother because she basically created him for the High Evolutionary. He ends up threatening their species to annihilate them unless they help him get Rocket, which explains why Adam was trying to get Rocket. The High Evolutionary wants Rocket because he is the smartest being that he has made. We get a look at Rocket's past where we meet his friends and his little girlfriend Lila, which was really, really sad. Again, it's a lot of animal cruelty. It doesn't really show much, but you basically get the gist of what's going on. They're being tortured and whatnot. We go back to the Guardians. That ball that they retrieved did not have what they needed. They end up realizing that it's in the High Evolutionary's minion's head, which is the one on the right. So they need to get to him. And they know that he is in Counter Earth, which is an Earth that the High Evolutionary had created. This Earth is created and it has a lot of animal like people, so almost like Zootopia, which is the vibe we got. They're all scared to see them, to see the Guardians, but the Guardians say we come in peace. There's one family that helps them. They do speak a different language, so it's hard but funny to see them trying to understand them. Peter ends up meeting up with the High Evolutionary, hearing his plan, how he wants Rocket and whatnot. He ends up escaping the ship with Groot and the guy who has the thing on his head with the information. And High Evolutionary starts destroying the Earth, Counter Earth, because he says these people, this creation was not perfect. Adam is trying to make it back to his ship to save his mother, but doesn't make it there on time because she ends up exploding, getting destroyed in the exploding planet. The Guardians make it out safely though, but separated. Drax, Mantis, and Nebula are still on the High Evolutionary ship. There they encounter a room full of children that the High Evolutionary is creating. They all speak a different language. Nebula and Mantis kind of get into it. Mantis has been kind of she plays dumb, but she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's talking about. She sees the good in everyone, which is really nice to see. I love Mantis. Adam makes it off the planet on the Guardian ship, and on the Guardian ship, Peter and Gamora end up saving Rocket. So he comes to, and he's good. He's ready to fight. The Guardians end up making it back together, ready to fight and destroy the High Evolutionary. They're also trying to save all the animals and the people that are on the ship. This is where we get the best fight scenes I've seen in Marvel besides Shang-Chi. So well choreographed. It was so fun, and I love like the one shots where you don't see like a clip here, a clip there. It was all one shot and really well choreographed and funny. It was a funny fight scene also. Really enjoyed that scene. The Guardians end up beating the High Evolutionary. They don't kill him, but they end up beating him, taking off his face because his face has been ripped off by Rocket when he was a baby trying to escape. This is how the Guardians defeat the High Evolutionary. They end up reconvening back in nowhere, and Adam ends up staying with them in nowhere because again he lost his mother and his civilization. And this is where Peter says he wants to go back to Earth. Mantis had been telling him he should go back and visit his grandfather, who he had abandoned also when he lost his own daughter too. So she tells him go back to Earth, and he wants to do that. So we end up seeing the Guardians end just like that. It's actually a really emotional scene to see, but we get Nebula, everyone make Rocket the captain of the Guardians, since there will still be a Guardians, but now Rocket will be the captain of the Guardians. So those who stayed in Nowhere are Adam Warlock, so he stayed there. We have Nebula, who stayed behind and is now rebuilding Nowhere. So she's the leader of Nowhere now, which is really great to see. I loved her character growth. I love Nebula. And then we have Rocket and Groot, who stayed behind in Nowhere. And Drax stayed behind also. He wanted to go with Mantis because Mantis is also leaving. Gamora realized she's not going to be a part of the Guardians anymore. She wants to stay with the Ravagers. That's her people now. And Peter has accepted that now. He realizes it's not his same Gamora and has let her go. Mantis is leaving to be on her own. She says she always was made to follow Ego, and once Ego was destroyed, she followed the Guardians. Now she wants to be able to be independent. It was a really sad goodbye between her and Drax because Drax, that's her best friend. That's his best friend. And it almost looks like they're in love, but I can't really tell. But they're just so funny. They have some really great parts together in this movie. I'm really going to miss their interaction together. Then we cut to Peter, and he's back on Earth and reunites with his grandfather, and that's also a really sweet moment. And that's pretty much where the Guardians is. That's where they leave off. We do have the first end credit scene, which is a scene of the new Guardians, which consists of Rocket and Groot. We have Kraglin also in there. He learned to control his arrow at the end of the movie. And then we have Adam Warlock, who is, I never even mentioned, is still like a baby. He's still learning. So it's going to be fun to see him grow. We also see Blurp, this little furry, hairy thing, who Adam had adopted throughout the movie as like his own pet. We get Cosmo the dog, And then we get this new character, one of the little kids from the ship that the High Evolutionary had created. Now, her name is coming up on IMDb as Phyla, but in the comics, she goes by Phyla Vel, which made her a Kree. So Marvel did change her origin story and made her a creation of the High Evolutionary versus of the Kree. But I guess she's very powerful. I don't know much about her, so I would definitely need to do more research. But it's a new character. It looks like Marvel's going for now younger characters. We know there's rumors of the Young Avengers coming up, so it'll be really interesting to see where her story goes. The last end credit scene is just of Peter and his grandfather, and it's just really cute. They're eating cereal together and bickering back and forth about who's gonna do the cut the lawn or whatever, their chores. So it'll be interesting. I hope we get like a spin-off of seeing Peter adjust to Earth, because he's not from there and he's been in space all these years. So that will be really interesting to see where they go from there. Now, at the end of this scene, we get a very cool spoiler. We get this: the legendary Star Lord will return, which is awesome. It's also kind of sad because usually we get the Guardians will return, but it just says Star Lord, which I'm excited for. I was shocked because I really thought Chris Pratt was done with the character, especially since James Gunn has moved to DC. But I'm really excited. I'm pretty sure we'll get him back in Secret Wars. We know everyone is coming back for Secret Wars, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Well, there we have it. I am very happy and pleased to say none of the Guardians died, which I'm also kind of mad at James Gunn for telling us not all of them are going to make it out alive because I was so emotionally not ready for this, but I'm glad that no one died. I can't say I hate any of these characters. I can't say I have a favorite because I love them all equally. They're so they each have their own qualities and I love the Guardians. Really well cast and it's really sad that they're no longer going to be together in this same group, but I'm also excited to see what the new Guardians can do. But I definitely will miss them. I really enjoyed this movie. Again, I said it's quality Marvel that we're getting back, and I hope that going forward we can get the same type of content. I will rate this an 8.7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Now, I want to know what you guys think. Did you guys like it? Did you not like it? What did you like? What didn't you like? Who are your favorites? Um, Again, thank you guys so much for sticking through this video and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much.